Yeah, OKC is a tough one just because they only have so many players under contract right now, and even fewer under guaranteed contracts because Sam Presti has acquired roughly 4,718 draft picks over the next decade. So
Seems low.
They could go in a bajillion different directions because what core pieces do they truly have in place? We know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one. Other than that, like Lou Dort is intriguing, Teo Maledon, Darius Baisley, Alexei Pokusevsky, Moses Brown. These are all who needs to be re-signed. These are all intriguing pieces. I don't know if you can call them guaranteed centerpieces yet.
Moses Brown's in Boston now, for what it's worth. I was going to say Moses Brown is now Boston Celtics.
My bad. Well, you messed up the Orlando one, so I was trying to make you feel better. But regardless, like to me, the only thing that matters right now is making sure that whoever you bring in fits with Shai, because he is the unquestioned centerpiece who you know should be around for a long time. So even though I just said I love the idea of Lonzo Ball staying in New Orleans, I think he's a great realistic fit for this Oklahoma City Thunder team because his skill set allows Shai to play even more to his strengths. Shai is a developing passer. He's not the greatest facilitator out of the backcourt right now. You give that responsibility to Lonzo Ball, who can run the show in transition and then take more of an off-ball role when Shai is working as a primary scorer. I just think those two guys, they operate on similar timelines. You can afford to give Lonzo a slight overpay because you know that your core is going to be comprised of so many rookie-scale players for the next 2 decades or however long Sam Presti wants to hoard draft picks, and they work together. So it's a fit I keep coming back to as one that I just really, really like, more so than almost anything else OKC could do this offseason, because I don't think the Thunder are yet in a position where they should make a play for whichever star becomes available. 2 years from now, when more of their roster is fleshed out, yeah, go make a play for whichever superstar demands a trade, because you have assets just boiling over and you have to get rid of them because you can't play that many rookies. They're not there yet, which means that the trade targets are less appealing inherently. So I just keep coming back to Lonzo here.
I hadn't thought about that. He's a very interesting fit. It'd be a wild fit while Kemba Walker's still there, having Shai, Kemba, and Lonzo Ball. I wonder how they would feel about adding what could probably be like a $20+ million a year guy, just as Shai is about to be that guy. To have two of those guys under contract long-term before you're ready to win. But the Lonzo Ball Shai fit is fantastic. So for them, I went 2 different ways here. One, is there a free agent? I didn't have Lonzo Ball that they should overpay, who's like young but super plug and play. I came up with Gary Trent Jr. would be a great fit for them. Not going to give you a ton of creation, but they need shooting, and he'll hold his own on defense, and he does give you some like closeout verve when he has open space. But if you don't want to spend your free agency bucks at all, a low-key name to monitor here, Garrison Mathews from Washington. That man can shoot. He can defend a little bit. I saw John Hollinger was pretty critical that he can't do anything on the ball. I kind of disagree a little bit, but it feels stupid to disagree with John Hollinger. It feels like we saw it a little bit more in his first season with Washington, and he's been on a 2-way contract both years. I think the Russell Westbrook edition kind of displaced him, and it might have been the same with a healthy John Wall. He has some kind of like downhill like flash. Like he's not going to change these directions, but he's like confident and speedy going downhill. And in his first season showed that he could draw some contact and attempt to finish through it. So if you're just looking for a younger guy who is flying under the radar, gives you shooting, taking a flyer on the rest of his skill set, he would be great here. For trade targets with Oklahoma City, I think you have to spot who is going to be the next star that's undervalued that they can take on and help rebuild his value. I still think Kristaps Porzingis would be the guy. If Dallas is interested in Kemba Walker and there's like a spot potentially there, I like Kristaps' fit. And he's younger, on the younger side anyway, and they're not like set at center anymore. They have some interesting pieces, but like, what is Poku going to be even long term anyway? So I would very much be in favor of something along those lines. I just don't expect them to make a splash on the trade market or even free agency. They're probably more likely to make a splash on the trade market in the sense that if there's unwanted money to be absorbed, they can still get to like roughly $1 trillion in cap space. And I'm being facetious. 30+ million in cap space, but yeah, you get the point.
Like basically the same thing. Yeah, I mean, OKC, it's just this malleable ball of clay right now. We don't know what it's going to look like, and I don't think that any move at this stage of the rebuild should change that.